Chosen one, stop right now and pay attention. What I'm about to reveal in the next few minutes will completely transform your financial life. This is not an ordinary message. It's an urgent divine revelation about the liberation that is happening at this exact moment. Invisible forces have been blocking your prosperity for too long, but today, yes, today, all of that ends. God sent me to bring this message because you have been selected for a supernatural financial transformation. I need you to listen to me carefully. This is critical. Pause this video immediately. Leave your like, subscribe to our channel, and write "liberated" in the comments to activate this prosperity vibration in your life. This simple action is your declaration that you are ready to receive what God has prepared. Chosen one, there is a veil that has been covering your financial life for a long time, a veil so dense and dark that you didn't even perceive its existence. This veil not only blocked your spiritual vision, but also prevented you from seeing the true cause of your constant struggle with money. Today, this veil is being completely torn. God is bringing to light what was operating in the shadows against your prosperity. Many wonder why they work so hard and see so little result, why money seems to slip through their fingers like water, why each financial advance is followed by an even greater setback. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to prosper without much effort, while you constantly struggle, despite being dedicated, intelligent, and hardworking? It's not a coincidence. It's not bad luck. It's not just poor management. There is an invisible force, a hidden curse that has been over your finances. This revelation is happening now because you've reached a divine moment, a moment of discovery and liberation. God's timing is perfect, and He has chosen this exact moment to remove the veil and show the truth about your financial situation. God is illuminating the dark corners of your economic life so you can finally see what has been preventing your abundance. Like a doctor who must first diagnose the disease to then treat it, God is showing exactly what needs to be broken in your life. Notice how in recent days you felt restless about your financial situation. That feeling that something isn't right, that impression that there is more for you than your current reality demonstrates. It's not just natural worry, it's a divine awakening. Your spirit is being sensitized to see beyond the natural. Those sudden ideas, that unexpected clarity about your finances, are not coincidences. They are manifestations of divine revelation beginning to operate. The Word teaches us that everything hidden will be revealed, and this is happening right now in your financial life. The invisible structures that sustain scarcity are being exposed. The spiritual agreements you didn't even know existed are coming to light. The deep roots of financial limitation are being unearthed. It's as if a powerful light were being directed to those areas of your life that have always been in the shadows. This revelation is not to discourage you, but to free you. When you see the problem clearly, the solution becomes possible. When you identify the enemy, you can fight it with precision. This is the moment when light is shining on the darkness of your financial life. It's the moment to face the truth, no matter how uncomfortable it may be. Some of you will begin to have revealing dreams, vivid dreams that show exactly what has been blocking your prosperity. Others will have moments of sudden clarity, as if a switch were turned on in your mind, illuminating areas that have always been obscure. Still others will receive words of wisdom from people around you, messages that will deeply touch your spirit and confirm what God is revealing. These are all channels of divine revelation, showing exactly what has sabotaged your prosperity for so long. And revelation brings responsibility. Now that you're seeing, you can no longer pretend you don't see. Now that you know, you can no longer pretend you don't know. This is the moment to act based on divine revelation. This is the moment to allow light to completely expel the darkness from your financial life. Ignorance is no longer an excuse. Knowledge demands action. The revelation of the invisible is just the first step. It's the divine diagnosis that precedes complete healing. Be open to receiving this revealing light, even if it shows uncomfortable areas of your life, even if it reveals patterns you need to change, even if it exposes limiting beliefs about money that you didn't know you had. The truth, however difficult it may be, is always the path to liberation. In the coming days, you'll notice unprecedented clarity about your financial situation. You'll see connections you never noticed before. You'll understand patterns that have always been present but were never recognized. It's the direct result of this divine revelation that's happening now. The invisible is becoming visible. The hidden is being revealed. The divine diagnosis is being made. And now, finally, your true financial liberation can begin. What I'm about to reveal will shake the structures of your family history. There is a negative financial pattern that has followed your lineage for generations, a vicious cycle that seems impossible to break. Think about it. Your grandparents struggled financially. Your parents faced the same difficulties, and now you, despite all your efforts, find yourself trapped in the same cycle. Your ancestors struggled with the same difficulties you face today, the same scarcity, the same blockages, the same limitations. This is not a coincidence. Generational curses are real. They are like spiritual codes programmed into your family's DNA that continue to manifest generation after generation. They are ancient agreements, forgotten pacts, words spoken decades or even centuries ago that continue to influence your financial life today. Have you ever stopped to notice how the same financial problems repeat? How your family seems to be stuck in a cycle of almost prosperity, where success appears on the horizon but never fully materializes? These curses take various forms. For some, it's the curse of never enough, where no matter how much money comes in, there never seems to be any left over. The salary increases, but expenses mysteriously grow in the same proportion. For others, it's the curse of sudden loss, where when everything seems to be going well, a tragedy or unforeseen event destroys everything that was achieved. The business is thriving, and then, inexplicably, a problem arises out of nowhere and knocks everything down. Still for others, it's the curse of self-sabotage, where inexplicably bad decisions are made precisely when prosperity is about to manifest. It's as if an invisible force pushes you toward choices that sabotage your own success. But today, something extraordinary is happening. Divine power is canceling these generational curses. The cycle that seemed unbreakable is being broken right now. The inheritance of poverty that passed from grandparents to parents and from parents to children is being nullified by supreme authority. It's as if a celestial decree had been issued declaring, "This cycle ends here. This lineage will no longer carry the weight of scarcity." Feel this. There is a breaking happening in the spiritual realm. The invisible shackles that bound your lineage to scarcity are being shattered. Your family's spiritual DNA is being recoded. Where there was programming to fail, now there is programming to prosper. Where there was limitation, now there is abundance. Where there was scarcity, now there is more than enough. It's like a divine reprogramming of your family's financial patterns. This cancellation is not a promise for the distant future. It's happening right now. As these words resonate in your ears, the spiritual structures that sustained the financial curses over your family are crumbling. It's as if a spiritual earthquake was shaking the foundations of these curses, causing them to completely collapse. The divine decree has already been issued. The celestial order has already been given. The curses are being cancelled in real time. Notice how in the coming days you'll begin to make different financial decisions. New ideas will emerge. You'll be surprised to find yourself thinking about money in a way you never thought before. Unexpected opportunities will appear. Doors that have always been closed to your family will begin to open for you. It's the tangible result of the cancellation of generational curses over your money. Your mind is being freed to think beyond the limits that have been imposed for generations. You are a generational marker. Through you, God is establishing a new financial pattern for your lineage. Poverty stops here. Scarcity ends with you. Limitation will not be passed on to your children. Future generations will look back and say, that's where everything changed. It was with him, her, that the curse was broken and the blessing began to flow. You are being positioned as a watershed in your family's history. It is no longer necessary to carry the financial burden of your ancestors. It is no longer your destiny to repeat the same mistakes and limitations. The generational curse over your money has been cancelled, nullified, completely revoked. You are free to prosper like never before. It's as if you had been freed from a spiritual prison you didn't even know existed. Accept this divine cancellation. Receive this supernatural liberation. Allow the new programming of prosperity to be established in your financial life. What was written about your family in the spiritual spheres is being rewritten right now. A new chapter is beginning. A new story is being written. And you are the protagonist of this historic transformation in your family lineage. There is a profound spiritual concept that few completely understand: invisible altars. In the spiritual realm, altars are points of contact and agreement, places where sacrifices are made and where pacts are established. They are centers of spiritual power that directly influence the physical world. And yes, there are evil altars that have invoked scarcity against your financial life. These altars are not physical structures that you can see with your natural eyes. They are spiritual constructions, established through words, actions, and intentions. Some were created by envy, when people spoke words of curse over your endeavors. He'll never succeed. That business will fail. That family will never have abundance. Words that seem harmless, but that establish powerful altars in the spiritual realm. Others were established by ancestors who made harmful agreements to obtain temporary gains, pacts with dark forces, problematic oaths, commitments that continue to affect generations. Still others were erected by forces of darkness that recognized your potential and tried to limit you. The enemy knows who you are and what you can become, and has worked tirelessly to maintain altars of limitation over your life. These altars have operated as blockage points in your financial life. Like a dam that prevents the natural flow of water, they have prevented prosperity from flowing freely to you. It's as if there were a diversion in the channel that should bring abundance to your life. Each time you came close to a major financial achievement, these altars activated their curses, bringing seemingly inexplicable obstacles. Problems arose out of nowhere. Key people suddenly changed their minds. Unexpected circumstances aligned against you. It wasn't coincidence. They were manifestations of the power of these evil altars. But today, something extraordinary is happening in the spiritual realm. God has cast fire from heaven upon these evil altars, as in the time of the prophet Elijah, when the fire consumed not only the sacrifice, but also the wood, the stones, the dust, and even the water. The divine fire is now completely consuming the altars that have blocked your prosperity. This consuming fire is completely destroying these structures that have for so long sabotaged your financial life. Feel the liberation. Notice how a weight is being removed from your shoulders at this exact moment. That sensation of fighting against an invisible force, of swimming against the current, of advancing 2 steps and retreating 3, it's disappearing. It's the sensation of relief that comes when altars of limitation are broken. It's the relief of finally being free from the invisible blockages that prevented your financial advancement. This divine fire leaves nothing intact. It's consuming the negative pacts, burning the harmful agreements, and turning to ashes the curses that were pronounced against your finances. Nothing survives the intensity of this celestial fire. The sacrifices that fed these evil altars have lost their power. The pacts have been completely nullified. The words of curse have been silenced forever. The altars are being reduced to ashes, and with them, all the power they exerted over your financial life. The destruction of these altars is creating a spiritual vacuum, a space that needs to be filled. And God is already establishing new altars in your life, altars of prosperity, altars of abundance, altars of financial success. Where before there were structures that invoked scarcity, now there are altars that attract blessings. Where before there were points of contact for curses, now there are channels for the manifestation of divine provision. As the evil altars are reduced to ashes, new altars of blessing are being erected. In the coming days, you'll notice a tangible difference in your financial life. Situations that seemed completely blocked will begin to move. It's as if a spiritual traffic jam were being undone. The traffic of blessings will begin to flow freely again. Doors that were firmly closed will begin to open. Opportunities that seemed inaccessible will suddenly be within your reach. Resources that seemed inaccessible will begin to manifest. These are the visible effects of the breaking of evil altars over your money. This breaking is permanent. It's not temporary. It's not partial. It's a complete and irreversible destruction of the altars that invoked scarcity against your life. It's not like a pause, where the power of these altars will return after a time. It's a total demolition, so that they can never be rebuilt. You are being freed from a spiritual prison you didn't even know existed. Allow this truth to permeate your being. The evil altars have been broken. The spiritual structures that sustained scarcity in your life have been destroyed. The divine fire has completely consumed the points of contact that the forces of darkness used to sabotage your finances. You are free, truly free to prosper like never before. Now there are no more negative spiritual structures preventing the flow of divine abundance to your life. There is a powerful spiritual principle that few understand. Theft in the spiritual realm is real. While you slept, while you followed your daily routine, invisible forces were silently stealing the prosperity that was rightfully yours. This theft doesn't happen with physical money notes, but with the very essence of prosperity destined for you. It's a subtle theft of opportunities, ideas, relationships, and resources that should have been flowing to your life. In the spiritual realm, there are property titles, celestial documents that determine what legally belongs to you, divine provisions that were allocated to your life even before your birth, financial blessings that were designated for you to fulfill your purpose and destiny. And for a long time, these titles were defrauded, manipulated, and stolen by forces that didn't want to see you walking in abundance. It's as if someone had altered the delivery address of the packages meant for you. The wealth that should have been flowing to your life was diverted, redirected to other places by malicious spiritual hands. But today, a divine intervention is happening. The property titles of your wealth are being restored. It's as if a celestial lawyer were presenting irrefutable evidence that you are the true owner of the blessings that were stolen. What was spiritually stolen is being returned in full measure. A celestial restitution operation is underway, and you are the beneficiary. Imagine a spiritual court where the supreme judge has just struck the gavel declaring, "Return to the rightful owner everything that was stolen." This restitution is not partial. It's not a half return or an agreement where you receive only part of what is yours. It's a complete restitution with interest. Everything that was stolen, every blocked opportunity, every prevented advancement, every diverted financial blessing is being tracked, recovered, and returned to you. It's like a spiritual search and seizure operation, where nothing that was taken from you escapes the divine investigation. The word declares that when the thief is discovered, he must return 7 times more, and this spiritual law is being applied right now in your favor. Begin to notice the evidence of this restitution. Profitable ideas that seem to have been forgotten will return to your mind with renewed clarity. That project you abandoned years ago will suddenly resurface with new possibilities. Connections and relationships that could lead to financial advancements will be restored in unexpected ways. People who could open doors for you, but who had distanced themselves, will reappear in your life. Talents and abilities that seemed stagnant will begin to flow with renewed strength and creativity. You'll be surprised by insights and skills you didn't even know you possessed. These are all tangible manifestations of the spiritual restitution in progress. The celestial vaults have been opened, and the abundance that legally belongs to you is being released. It's as if a treasure that was locked and inaccessible has now been unlocked, and its contents are being poured into your life. The barriers that prevented this wealth from reaching you have been removed. The diversions that redirected your prosperity to other places have been corrected. The delivery address has been updated in the celestial system. The divine flow of abundance now has a direct path to your life. Understand that this restitution is not just about physical money. It's about your divine right to prosperity in all its forms. It's about the return of your ability to generate wealth, to attract profitable opportunities, to multiply resources, and to experience abundance in all areas of your financial life. It's the restoration of your spiritual authority over your finances, authority that was weakened through spiritual theft, but that is now being completely re-established. Some of you will experience restitution through completely unexpected sources of income. Resources will come from places you didn't even consider possible. Others will see businesses that seem to be dying suddenly revive and flourish, like dry plants that receive water after a long drought. Still others will receive innovative ideas that will transform into profitable ventures. Divine inspirations that are part of your restitution. Each will receive their restitution according to the specific divine plan for their life. The ownership of your wealth is being returned. The spiritual theft has ceased. The thieves have been exposed and forced to return everything they took with interest. The era of scarcity in your financial life has come to an end. Prepare to receive what has always been yours by divine right. Abundance is returning to your hands, and this time, no one will be able to steal it. Imagine a powerful river of prosperity, constantly flowing from the celestial throne, carrying abundance, opportunities, and financial blessings. This river has always existed and has always been meant to flow directly to your life. It's a divine flow, created specifically to irrigate your purpose and sustain your destiny. But for a long time, something prevented you from receiving its full flow. There were blockages, dams, and spiritual barriers strategically positioned to prevent the current of divine prosperity from reaching you. Like obstructed channels, these barriers severely limited what could flow to your financial life. It's like an irrigation system where someone placed obstacles at strategic points, causing only drops to reach your field. You were receiving only drops when you should have been receiving a flood of blessings. These blockages took various forms. Limiting beliefs about money that were planted in your mind since childhood. Money is hard to earn. Prosperity is for others, not for people like us. To get rich, you have to do something wrong. These beliefs functioned as filters that drastically reduced your ability to receive. Additionally, there were financial traumas from the past. Negative experiences with money that created fears and anxieties, functioning as emotional dams that prevented the flow of abundance. And there were also spiritual barriers, curses, pacts, and altars that we've already talked about, that functioned as diversions in the channel that should bring prosperity to your life. But today, something extraordinary is happening. The flow of prosperity is being completely unlocked. The barriers are being demolished. The blockages are being removed. The channels are being cleaned and widened. It's as if a divine maintenance operation were happening throughout the irrigation system of your prosperity. The dam that held back your abundance has been broken, and now the waters of prosperity are being released with full force. Feel this change. Can you perceive how something is different in the spiritual environment around you? There is a sensation of openness, of freedom, of unlimited possibilities in the air. That feeling that something was constantly blocking your progress is disappearing. It's the result of the unlocking of the flow of your prosperity. This unlocking is not temporary. It's not like when a clogged pipe is momentarily unblocked, only to clog again days later. It's not partial, like when only part of the obstruction is removed. It's a permanent transformation of the spiritual channels through which abundance flows to your life. It's a complete cleaning and resizing of the ducts that bring prosperity to your reality. What was once a trickle is becoming a rushing river. What was once intermittent will now be constant. What was once limited will now be abundant. The signs of this unlocking have already begun to manifest. Doors of opportunity that seemed firmly closed are beginning to open. It's as if rusty locks were suddenly being lubricated and unlocked. People who will be key pieces for your financial advancement are being directed to your path. Divine connections are being established. Profitable ideas are emerging in your mind with surprising clarity and detail. Your financial creativity is being expanded. These are all tangible evidence of the unlocked flow. This unlocking will affect all dimensions of your financial life. Your ability to generate income, which before seemed so limited, will now expand in ways you never imagined. Your ability to identify good opportunities will become sharper, like a spiritual radar that has been perfected. Your creativity for solving financial problems will be expanded, bringing innovative solutions to old challenges. Your network of contacts and strategic relationships will expand, connecting you with people who will be instrumental for your prosperity. All these areas will experience the positive impact of the unlocked flow of prosperity, and the rhythm of this flow will only increase. Like a river that gains strength as it advances, the flow of your prosperity will gain momentum in the coming weeks and months. It won't be a sudden increase followed by decline, but a consistent and sustainable growth. What begins as a creek today will become a powerful river, bringing levels of abundance you never imagined possible. The unlocking of the flow comes with a responsibility. You need to keep the channels clean. You need to eliminate limiting beliefs about money that may try to reinstall themselves in your mind. You need to develop a mindset of abundance, seeing yourself as someone worthy of receiving divine prosperity. You need to be open to receive, without unconscious sabotage motivated by guilt or fear. If you do your part, the flow will continue to increase in volume and strength. Allow this transformative truth to fill your spirit. The flow of prosperity in your life is finally unlocked. The era of scarcity has come to an end. The era of abundance has begun. Everything that was prevented from reaching you will now flow freely. Prepare to receive like never before. Mark this date on your calendar. Record this moment in your journal. Engrave this day in your memory. Because today, yes, exactly today, is the definitive milestone of your financial turnaround. This is not just another ordinary day in your life. It's a watershed, a pivotal moment that clearly separates your past of scarcity from your future of abundance. Historians speak of events that divide history into before and after. The discovery of fire, the invention of the wheel, the fall of the Berlin Wall, the Industrial Revolution, the Internet. Moments that completely transform the course of events, redefining how humanity lives and interacts with the world. And in your personal financial trajectory, today is exactly that kind of historic milestone. From today, you will enter a new dimension of prosperity, a financial reality that previously seemed only a distant dream, an experience of abundance that you may have glimpsed, but never could fully inhabit. It's not a promise for a distant future. It's not a vague possibility. It's a spiritual reality that is manifesting right now. The divine decree has already been issued. The celestial order has already been given. The transformation is already in motion. This milestone of the turnaround is not just symbolic. It's not just a nice motivational statement. It's practical and tangible. In the coming days and weeks, you will begin to see concrete evidence of transformation in your financial life. Debts that seemed impossible to settle will find unexpected solutions, as if a path suddenly opened in the middle of a seemingly endless maze. Opportunities that will completely change your financial level will arise in your path like doors that materialize in a wall that previously seemed solid. Doors that were closed for years will suddenly open before you, as if a celestial master key were unlocking locks that seemed permanently jammed. The turnaround that begins today will affect not only your external circumstances, but also your internal mindset. The way you think about money, those limitations that were programmed into your mind since childhood, is being completely reprogrammed. Your beliefs about what is possible for you financially, those invisible ceilings that limited how far you allowed yourself to dream, are being elevated to unprecedented heights. Your emotional relationship with prosperity and abundance, those feelings of unworthiness or guilt that arose when you thought about wealth, is being healed and transformed. Everything is being transformed from this milestone. You will notice changes even in how people respond to your ideas and proposals. Where before there was resistance, now there will be receptivity. It's as if a magnetic field around you had changed its polarity, attracting instead of repelling opportunities. Where before there was hesitation, now there will be enthusiasm. The same people who doubted before will now be eager to participate in your projects. Where before there was rejection, now there will be acceptance. Doors that were slammed in your face will now open invitingly. It's the external reflection of the internal turnaround that is happening in your life. This milestone of the turnaround also establishes a new pattern for your future. From today, scarcity will no longer be your pattern. The constant struggle will no longer be your norm. Financial instability will no longer be your daily reality. It's as if a new financial genetic code were being written, determining that from now on, abundance, growth, and stability will be your natural characteristics. A new pattern of abundance, stability, and growth is being established. There is power in recognizing and declaring this milestone. When you consciously affirm that today is the day of your financial turnaround, you are aligning your faith and your expectation with the divine decree that has already been issued. You are bringing your mind and your emotions into agreement with the spiritual reality that is already in motion. Do not allow doubt to rob you of this conviction. Do not let fear diminish your expectation. Do not allow past experiences to contaminate this new beginning. Declare with conviction, today is the milestone of my financial turnaround. In the years to come, you will look back at this exact moment and recognize this is where everything changed. It was on this day that my financial history entered a new chapter. It was at this moment that I left scarcity behind and embraced the abundance that was always my divine right. It will be a moment that you will celebrate annually, commemorating the anniversary of your financial liberation. This is a point of no return, an irreversible moment, a transformation with no turning back. You can no longer return to your old financial reality, just as a butterfly cannot return to the cocoon after having experienced the freedom of flight. The milestone is established. The turnaround has begun. The transformation is underway. Your financial history will never be the same. Welcome to your new reality of limitless prosperity. Chosen one, we have reached the end of this powerful revelation. But for you, it is just the beginning of an extraordinary journey. What I shared today are not just inspiring words. It is a prophetic declaration about your financial life that is already manifesting in the spiritual realm. The hidden curse that limited your money has been completely broken. The veils that prevented your vision have been torn, revealing the truth that was hidden. The generational curses that followed your lineage for decades, perhaps centuries, have been completely cancelled, establishing you as a historical marker in your family. The altars of scarcity have been destroyed by divine fire, leaving nothing that can be rebuilt. What was spiritually stolen is being returned in abundant measure with divine interest. The blockages have been removed from the channel of your prosperity, allowing the flow of abundance to run freely to your life. And today, without any shadow of doubt, marks the beginning of your new financial history, a milestone that you will celebrate for years to come. In the coming weeks, you will begin to witness tangible signs of this transformation. They won't be coincidences, they will be confirmations. When they appear, and they will appear, remember this moment. Remember that it was here that you received this prophetic word. Remember that it was here that your faith was activated to a higher dimension. Abundance is not just your destiny, it's your divine right. You were not created to live in scarcity, constantly struggling and just surviving. You were created to prosper, to grow, to multiply. And now, with all invisible barriers removed, nothing can prevent the fulfillment of this purpose in your life. Do not allow doubt or fear to find a place in your heart. These voices may try to whisper that nothing has changed, that everything remains the same, but they are just the last gasps of a defeated enemy, trying to keep you trapped in a reality that no longer exists. Keep your faith unshakable in this word you receive today. Declare it daily. Meditate on it constantly. Live as if it were already completely manifested in your physical reality, because in the spiritual realm, it already is. If this message touched your heart, don't keep it just for yourself. There are many other chosen ones who need to hear this liberating truth. Share this video with someone who needs this same liberation. Leave your like as a declaration of faith, an affirmation that you have received and believe in this prophetic word. And if you haven't yet subscribed to our channel, do it right now to continue receiving prophetic words that will transform every area of your life. The curse is over. The blessing has begun. Scarcity has been cancelled. Abundance has been released. Your future of extraordinary prosperity is waiting for you. Move forward with confidence, knowing that today marks the end of all hidden curses over your money and the beginning of your era of supernatural prosperity.